They were talking to people on Mars?
They're trying to talk to spirits on Mars, contact them.
As in people who lived on Mars and died?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean...
I'm assuming, yeah. That's why they're up there.
That makes sense. That's why who up there? I thought you meant the people on Mars. I'm like, that's why they're there to contact them,
that's why the spirits are there. They would have died there, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, if there were people living on Mars, they'd be dead.
So when they try to use it, in Manuel's backyard, it blew up.
Perfect. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mysterious Pal Show. My name is Chris, and we're here on a sad, sad, sad day.
Wait, why?
Because Jordan, welcome to the show, by the way.
No, thanks.
It is the first episode after Summer of Sea Monsters has ended.
Right. It was a good summer.
It was a great summer.
Lots of laughs.
It's still summer with the day we're recording this.
Yeah.
We're recording this a little early. It's light outside still, which is a weird thing.
Yeah.
I got a vacation plan, so we're getting these recorded, getting them recorded, ready to go to release while I am on vacation. But we're here today to talk about something different that's not a sea monster. That was one thing I was thinking about. We call it the Summer of Sea Monsters, but early in that the summer, I learned what a sea was. And we talked about the ocean monsters the entire time. So it should have been the Summer of Ocean Monsters?
No, there's some sea ones in there.
Really?
Yeah. Kraken was sea around Scandinavia. Scandinavian
It's
sea.
a region, not a country.
Yeah, but you also learned.
So...
Yeah, you're going to North Korea for...
I'm going where?
You're going to North Korea on your vacation, is that right?
Korea?
North Korea, yeah. Isn't that where you're going?
I mean, I wish I could go to like the other side of the world or any occasion. I mean, that would be one that'd be kind of cool to go to.
North Korea?
Just to see it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, they still do, people can go there? Like they still do, they stop that?
Yeah, you can't go.
We used to be, like they opened it up for tourism a couple years ago.
Did they?
Yeah. Because there was a flood of YouTube videos of people going there.
Yeah, I don't think Americans can go though.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
No.
You just go to South. Yeah, there was like.
I mean, you go to like that
China,
that DMZ zone. Yeah.
No, I mean like they were allowing like people to come in. I don't know because there's plenty of videos out there like on YouTube now of people going there. Like I didn't know a guy, but I know a YouTube guy specifically who went to North Korea from America. He lives in California.
Oh.
So I think they may have then shut it back up. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going there. I would love to go to any city. If I'm going to go travel abroad, I think I've said this before. I don't want to go to like an older America by like going to like parts of Europe. That'd be cool, but like I'd rather go to like somewhere really cool, like India, China, Japan.
I really want to go to Japan.
One of those countries over there. I mean, you've been all these places, so I know this is like nothing to you. So, but in any case, we are here right now to talk about something different.
Yep.
Jordan's driving the ship this week. Although, wait, it's not a ship anymore because we're not in the ocean anymore.
Bus? We're on a bus? What are we doing?
Jordan's going to be driving the bus this week. And it's one of those, like, you're driving to school in the morning. Like one of those, like, buses where you're like, oh, bored. It sucks. I don't want to go to school today. It's like a Monday morning.
I hated that, man.
Not the Summer of Sea Monsters anymore. Summer breaks over. It's like the first day of school. And you're like, oh.
Ugh.
I always ask people, like, students in high school, like towards the end of the year, I'm like, what if you just wake up right now and you realize it's like the first day of school? What would you do? You know, because it's like at the end of school year, everyone's like excited about it. It's a pretty cool time. Someone gets to relive it every year. Pretty cool. But I'm like, what if I woke up and it's like the first day of school again? Or like, what if I wake up and it's like, I'm back in high school? Like, it's all been a dream.
Yeah.
All of it.
I have a lot of recurring dreams where I'm back in high school. I hate it. I can't find my locker.
Oh, yeah, one of those. It's like a server dream.
Mm-hmm.
Server dream is the worst.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But we're not here to talk about dreams. We'd be pretty bad at it if we did. What do you got for us today? Where are you taking this bus?
Well, this bus is going across the pond.
Choo-choo.
No, that would be across the pond.
Chug,
I guess.
chug.
Like referred to like England. We're going to Brazil this time, baby. Brazil. We're going to Brazil, but back in time.
We're driving this bus back in time.
Historical podcast.
It's like the Magic School Bus.
Oh.
You're like that lady with the red hair. Mrs. Frizzle, I think her name is.
I don't know.
Mrs. Frizzle? I don't know. I never watched it.
I didn't either. But sure, I'll be her. Yeah. Again, on this Magic School Bus. We're going to Brazil back to August 20th, 1966.
1966?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that ancient.
I mean, it's history.
Yeah, you're right. History, mystery,
Yeah.
and friendship.
That's right. That's a tagline.
Tagline, yep.
All right. So, Brazil, August 20th, 1966. A young boy or a man, depending on some of these sources I found, it's been different, but apparently this boy or man was 18, so maybe a young man named...
A young boy man.
Young boy, man-child. He was 18, apparently. So, his name is... This is Portuguese. And somewhat similar to Spanish, but they are different.
Oh, yeah. I think they would...
Yeah.
People out there would tell you
yes,
that.
they're definitely different. So...
But I get the idea.
Yeah.
It's the same way, like, the Spanish they speak in Spain is different from the Spanish they speak in South America.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like in Mexico and
other
countries like that. Same with the English we speak here is different than the English spoken in England.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been there, but I'm saying that's probably what it is.
So his name is Jorge.
George.
Right, but Portuguese.
I don't know.
Yeah, right. So,
I mean,
is it J like an H, like it is in Spanish?
I don't
Because
know.
again, these are different languages.
George?
Orge?
I don't know.
Orgy?
I don't think that's
Anyway,
what it is.
George da Costa Alves. I'm going to say Alves. Alves. He was out flying his kite. 18-year-old boy's flying a kite.
Yeah.
On Vintém Hill in Niterói. Niterói is a town within Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, okay. Heard of that place.
Yes, we can pronounce that. So he's flying a kite in these hills, and I think they're more of like mountains, maybe. I was looking at Google Maps and Google Earth. It looks a little more mountainous. Apparently, this town, though, when I looked it up, it's across the Rio de Janeiro harbor. There's like a body of water, but then
Like a bay?
yeah, but
Harbor Bay, same thing.
But then these mountains, though, when I was looking, are to the west of Rio de Janeiro, the city.
Okay.
So I don't know. Apparently, this is in this town. These hills are they're in Rio de Janeiro, west of the city.
Rio George.
So he's up in the hills flying his kite until he makes an unusual discovery. He found the bodies of 2 dead men.
Oh, God.
So
Sorry, George. Old Georgie.
Georgie Porgy. So obviously, he does a good thing, alerts the police. Apparently, the police couldn't arrive at the scene until the next day. This is the 21st they arrived there due to the rough terrain.
But George could just wander up there with his kite.
Yeah. I guess he knows it well.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean,
so this is what this police see when they arrive, right? These 2 men were laid side by side, surrounded by tall grass or weeds. They were laying upon a bed of local palm tree leaves, right?
okay.
Interesting.
Yep.
The men laid facing up with their arms stretched underneath their heads as if they were looking up at something.
Like laying back, like lounging?
Yeah, like on their backs with their arms like they're sunbathing or something like that.
Okay, so you're just lounging back, your arm in, or you're getting arrested.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Put
Okay.
your hands
Yeah.
on your bed. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. That
Just one flip is like ruining your day or not.
I'm gonna do a little sky gazing or get arrested.
Yeah. You're on your belly, it sucks. If you're on your back, it's just a good time.
Well, I'm glad you said that, man, because I didn't think about that. It kind of makes sense of what the
But
possible theories are.
But they were laying on their back.
They're laying on their back, though.
Okay.
Yeah, hands behind their head. Both of them were dressed in suits, and both had matching waterproof coats on.
Waterproof coats.
They're like raincoats.
You ever wear a raincoat? Like when you were a kid and stuff?
Sure, I'm sure I did.
Those things suck. Because they just bottle in the heat. It's
Yeah.
like wearing saran wrap.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's
I mean, I guess
Yeah.
I understand the point, but like, it's just gross because you're just sweaty on the inside then and not like oh, I'm
Yeah.
different. I'm wet in a different way.
in a smelly way.
I hate those things. And then you like stick to them when you try to take it off. You're like, ah.
Yeah.
And maybe they're better nowadays, but like, unless you get like the, the survivalist mountain man type of raincoats that are probably
expensive,
but like they work actually and don't
Right.
make you get all gross and stinky and sweaty as well as you're dry. Okay. I got lots of problems these days.
First world problems.
Yeah.
Next to the men was an empty water bottle and 2 wet towels. Odd.
Wet towels?
2 wet towels.
Because they were drying themselves off after
Sweating.
sweating. Yeah. Under those coats.
Cash was found in the men's pockets and near them. This is one of the most unusual things. This is what this case is called, the lead mask case. So they both had lead masks on their faces. Lead masks on their faces.
No,
right?
is this like wait? Is this like the a man in the Iron Mask type of thing?
No.
They're like bolted to their face.
No. They're like makeshift kind of sunglass looking things. So they didn't cover their whole face. It was just their eyes.
They're aliens. Wait. Are these
aliens
like
will come up?
just like sunglasses?
Yeah,
But they're lead.
but they're lead. They're homemade.
Can you see through them?
No. So that's another weird thing. They didn't have any eye holes or like eye slits,
But they're lead.
but they're lead. And they're just only covering their eyes.
Did people know how bad lead was for you at this time in history? Like in the 60s?
I would imagine, yeah.
When did they start being like, hey, lead paint, knock it off?
Yeah. It wasn't like lead used for like shielding from like radiation stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, lead's used for, there's good uses of lead, but there's also, they just started throwing it in everything. I think I think it's something with the properties of it being like a useful metal,
Mhm.
but they're like, oh, this is actually terrible for people.
Yeah.
What do I know? Got lots of problems.
These are on their face, but not covering their whole face, just their eyes. So there's no hole, so they can't actually see anything through them. So it's weird.
That you know of.
Well, yeah. In the pockets of one of the men was a notebook with equations and references to various electrical equipment. One of the notes in particular was very unusual. It said, in Portuguese, of course, so the exact English translation I saw varies. It says 16:30, so 4:30 p.m. for those who don't do the
military time.
Yeah. Be at agreed place. And it says at 18:30 or 6:30 p.m. swallow capsules. After effect, protect metals. Wait for mask signal. Swallow capsules. After effect, protect metals. Wait for mask signal.
These are instructions.
Hmm.
Now the mask did they investigate the mask? Are we going to go into what the mask actually was, like what it looked like?
No one knows. It just honestly it just looks like a pair of sunglasses.
But like there wasn't like electrical stuff. It was just lead.
Mm-hmm.
Lead sunglasses.
Yep.
This is kind of like one of those mafia, like, you know, your concrete boots are going to put on you. I'll give you the
concrete boots.
Give you the old lead sunglasses. You know what I'm saying?
Lead and what was it they say, like a pump you full of lead?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like
bullets.
That. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. Why.
We're going to gingerly put some sunglass lead on your face. You're going to sleep with the fishes? That type of thing?
I don't know. Maybe.
You're going to... There's a joke there. I just can't think of it.
But think about it as I go on here. There was no apparent physical damage on the bodies and no signs of struggle. No one was messing with them, did anything to them, and no wildlife even like
mess with them.
Yeah.
Well, how long were they dead for?
The bodies had apparently been dead for 3 days in a high state of decomposition at this point.
I'm going to show you a lead bed.
There it is.
I got it. Not the best, but it's top of my head.
All right, so just
workshop that.
Based on the scene of the crime or whatever this you'd call this, what do you think happened?
What's this? The scene? Okay. I think in the 60s, someone came up with a real cool drug, and these guys were going for a ride. Were they locals?
Glad you asked that. The police eventually discovered the names of the 2 deceased, Miguel Jose Viana and Manoel Pereira da Cruz. Miguel was 34 years old and Manoel was 32 years old. Both were married. I think they both had families, like both had children, or one of them did. Both were electronics technicians specializing in the installation of television signal transmitters and repeaters.
Which would use lead.
The town that they come from is 107 miles northeast of where their bodies were found.
In Rio.
Yeah.
In that
hillside, yeah, in Rio. They're not anywhere near their home.
No, 170 miles. I mean, that's like
Yes.
a significant, especially in the 60s. I mean, that'd be a significant thing.
Yeah. The autopsy and toxicology report turned up nothing. It's believed that's because the bodies had decomposed too much, and more importantly, the organs were not preserved.
Wait, decomposed. I thought you said there was like nothing wrong with them.
What's that?
I thought they were like in good condition. Not like animals hadn't messed with them or anything.
Well, yeah, apparently though, like according to some of these things I read, that the bodies had decomposed too much.
How long are they laying there? They know?
3 days.
Ooh, that's a quick one.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're decomposed that quick for 3 days.
Unless it took them a while to like get them to autopsy. And they
Maybe,
decomposed.
maybe that's what it was.
Didn't,
Yeah,
like, preserve them as well.
So one of the sources said the toxicology report wasn't even done at all.
That sounds weird.
Yeah.
I guess maybe in the 60s they just didn't have that resources.
I guess I don't know why
In this part of the world, maybe.
I think they did, but like I don't know. It was interesting that one wasn't even done. Apparently,
Maybe that wasn't as common of people like now we see it a lot with overdoses and stuff. People want to know
Sure.
why they died, and
yeah.
maybe the family maybe the family didn't ask for it, that type of thing. Like maybe in that country, the family has to ask for toxicology, or
Maybe. I mean, I imagine like you'd want to know though, wouldn't you?
but maybe the state was like, I'm not going to pay for that. The city, whoever,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm not paying for that. They died.
Well,
if no one's going to come forward and pay for it, then why are we going to? I think because even now, like toxicology reports and stuff, I think in our state, I think you have to ask for them and you have to pay for them.
Really?
When people that have died, my family from certain causes, we had toxicology reports done, and I don't remember if we had to pay for them or if it was like something. I think I want to say we'd ask for a toxicology report, and I think it cost money. It wasn't a lot of money, but in any case.
All right. So on the one website I'm using is Medium. 2004, the authorities revealed that the toxicology test was never performed because of viscera were rotting in the morgue.
They were just in the morgue too long.
Guess so.
Okay. Because I mean, with toxicology,
The other one I saw, like the guy who was doing this stuff was like too busy.
Okay.
Too busy to do it. So
Yeah. I mean, that happens.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the proper things.
Storing of the bodies,
like
maybe.
They didn't have a way of storing them properly, or maybe they didn't understand that. Maybe they didn't know the practices of keeping it on ice until they can do that. That they maybe didn't know that. I don't know. The 60s seems like it wasn't that long time ago, but it was like 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Who knows what practices were then?
Right. So, what were these capsules they were supposed to ingest?
Did they have any on them?
Police found no capsules. And so did they even take these capsules where they were supposed to be taking?
Did they ever? Okay. Keep going. Sorry. I don't know if I was going to ask, like, how about transportation? How'd they get there?
Man, you're just setting me up for all these, man. This is great. So we're going to go over the last couple
I don't know
days.
if you know this. I am a doctor.
We're going to go in the last couple days of these men's lives. On August 7th.
Wait, they have like they actually, did they find like family members and stuff?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
On August 17th, 3 days before the two men's bodies were found, both men told their families they were traveling to Sao Paulo state. There's Sao Paulo city and there's a Sao Paulo state.
Okay.
Brazil's broken up like states.
Okay.
Rio de Janeiro is one, but it also has Rio de Janeiro city. I don't know exactly
It's
where.
like New York and New York City.
Yeah, right. Yeah, thank you. They were traveling to Sao Paulo state to buy equipment and a cheap used car. Now, Sao Paulo city is over 400 miles away from their hometown. They go 400 miles away to get equipment, a cheap used car.
Equipment for what?
Well, they do like electrical stuff.
Oh,
so
so for their job.
yeah.
Okay.
But I think there's looking for a specific kind of equipment, as we'll find out in a bit, Chris.
Ooh.
When the police questioned the two men's friend, Elcio Gomez, he told them that he dropped the two men off at a bus depot. But according to Gomez, the two men refused to let him enter the bus station with them. The friend dropped him off. Their mutual friend dropped him off to like a bus station, and they're like, don't come in with us. Weird.
But was he like, hey, don't worry about coming in with us, but just go ahead?
I
Dropped him off there,
and they're like,
and he left.
They're like, don't come in. So he leaves.
But was he like, hey, don't worry about it. Just go ahead. We can do this. Like,
I mean,
don't bother coming. Don't bother parking.
They don't
Just drop us
specify.
off.
They don't specify. But
That's a problem.
It makes it seem though, like on all these ones I read,
Right.
that like they're just kind of like
dodging it,
yeah.
or like being
Weird.
Yeah, or like suspicious.
Yes.
They were acting suspiciously.
Yeah. Two men took a bus headed to Niterói, this suburb of Rio, instead of going to Sao Paulo. Basically, they lied about where they're going to their families. Because they're supposed to go to Sao Paulo, but they end up going to a totally different area.
How do they know that?
Hmm?
How do they know that that's what happened? Well, they obviously end up there, so they told everybody they went the other way.
Yeah.
They were going to Sao Paulo, but then they end up going to Rio.
Well,
de Janeiro.
so I was looking at the map. So where they're from is like northeast of Rio. Sao Paulo is southwest of Rio. So I guess they could be making a stop there.
Okay.
Maybe. Like they're going to stop there and then keep going further west. I think they had that geography right. So the two arrive in Niterói around 2:30 p.m. and make a few stops. They stopped first in an electronics store. They talked to the owner there for a minute. I don't think they actually bought anything. They went to a store to buy their matching raincoats. Witnesses said they were acting like they were in a hurry. So then they went to a bar. One store said it was a grocery store where they bought a bottle of water. They took the receipt suggesting they'd be back to return the bottle for a refund. It's class.
Yeah.
The bartender or clerk, depending again if it's a bar or a grocery store, the establishment was questioned by the police. She recalled that the men seemed to be anxious. Miguel kept checking his watch. The men were apparently last seen around 3:15 p.m. entering Vintém Hill. Some witnesses claim that the two men were seen riding into the hills in a Jeep with two other men.
Okay.
Those two men were never identified, though.
They never found the Jeep or the men.
No.
They just ended up in the hills somehow.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So one of these websites I came across said that George, the kid that discovered the bodies on the 20th, saw the two men on the 17th around 5 p.m.
17th.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the only one I saw. Everyone else, like apparently the last time they were seen was the 17th around 3 p.m. to 3:15 p.m. So
that's at the store with the water.
What's that?
That's where they were buying water?
No, this is when they're first entering the hill.
Okay.
That
region.
region.
In a Jeep.
Yeah. So it's around 3 or 3:15. But yeah, this other website claims that this kid saw them at 5 p.m. 17th. He says the kid believes that he saw them going up the hill. He also said he returned 2 days later on the 19th and saw them lying on the ground. He assumed they were sleeping. Then it's on the 20th that he discovers that they were in fact dead. And that's known. Like on the other websites I've seen, like he's the one that discovers their bodies on the 20th. It's just that one website says he saw them on the 17th. And then on the 19th, he saw them and he's like, oh, they must be sleeping. And then he went back. The 20th, like there's a really bad smell around here.
And they're still laying there.
And they're still laying there. He's like, oh crap, they're dead.
Suspicion.
Again, this is the only website that says Alves saw him the 17th and 18th. To this day, the police have no definitive answer as to what the cause of death was.
Because they botched the whole thing.
Yeah. And they closed the case after 3 years. So what are you thinking?
I think the lack of toxicology report is really throws this whole thing into a tailspin here. Because without toxicology, they could have just overdosed. They could have just died from something like that. Like, but
Right.
but then you start throwing this other stuff in. Like, if it was just two guys laying on a hill and they were dead, and without any notes or any of that stuff in there, nothing on their face, then okay, it probably we've never even heard about the story.
Right.
But it's the fact that there's stuff going on. Like these guys were from 170 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
Like the other details of what caused it to become more of an interesting story or like a mystery.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if they were just done the toxicology, that would have made this story not a story.
Right.
Or made it a worthwhile actual mystery.
Yeah, but again, like so some of these, like I said, some of these sites said the toxicology was done, but nothing was found. And then one or two were saying like they never even did it in the first place. So I was like, that's kind of weird.
That sounds more likely that it never got done or never got done in time. Maybe toxicology has to be done quickly in some cases because they're taking parts of the body that maybe could get like contents of the stomach, blood lot. Like who knows if that stuff can still be taken days later.
All right, so that's everything is known about these guys for the most part. So we're gonna go
That's
into,
the story.
That's a story. So we're gonna go into theories now,
Okay.
and it's weird. I'm gonna go. Usually we're just like, let's get the silly stuff out of the way, like aliens, ghosts, all that stuff. So we're gonna do a little bit different.
Wait, you saying aliens and ghosts are silly? Is that what you just said?
What's
You heard it here, everybody.
That's usually, we just throw that in there to get it out of the way, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
I put it in there as an actual conversation piece.
Well, no, I do the same sometimes, just to like
to do our due
explore.
diligence.
Yeah, exactly, all options.
But then you're like the silly one.
So the first thing, one of the theories is that these men were struck by lightning.
Oh, but I mean,
yeah,
that's a good.
So it did rain the night of their supposed deaths. And maybe the lead glasses they were wearing or whatever, the mask or whatever, attracted the lightning, killing them.
Oh,
there's the thing though, but
nice.
But like their bodies didn't show any like burning.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, that could be it. But like, and also the way they're laying. If you got struck by lightning and it killed you, would you just like, what would that do to your body? Yeah, what would that like do to your body?
Severe burns.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like, would you be like resting?
You're saying would it like? Well, I've seen.
Would you be like your body being like a weird position, not both of them rest their arms resting behind their head like that?
all your muscles seize up. You ever seen an actual video? Like there was a security cam footage of a guy getting struck by lightning. He survived. And he's just like walking, then he just basically tenses up and falls over like a tree, and like he survived thankfully. But your electricity, like everything just tenses. You can't move.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. So like, it wouldn't make sense if they got struck by lightning if they're just laying on their backs, both side by side with both their arms behind their heads.
Right. And there's no sign. Like you would obviously know if they got struck by lightning.
Yeah, you'd be like,
position.
Wouldn't it be like scorch marks around them too?
Yeah.
But apparently there was nothing like that around them. So that's
lightning's a fickle beast because it sucks. It's like when you understand the power of lightning, you're like, oh man, that stuff is nuts.
Right. So since this is the 60s, we got to have, throughout the Cold War era stuff, maybe
nice.
A little espionage, maybe.
Nice. Especially because like in this part of South America, you know who's down there?
Who?
Hitler. He's hanging out in Argentina.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, it's thrown out there, but I think it's this more dismissive things because based on these guys' backgrounds, unless they really are that good of spies.
I mean, they're working with electrical stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they communicate. The spies are communicating with radios. Yeah.
So maybe they're got some secrets, selling some secrets, or selling some radioactive materials.
Nice.
Maybe that was why they lead glasses. But like again, wouldn't they need to cover their whole face with that?
Yeah, I would think you would cover everything with that.
Yeah. And maybe like they're selling some kind of information or some kind of materials, and then you got murdered in the process.
Yeah, I mean,
shut them up.
Yeah, so there was no. Yeah, was there gunshot wounds or anything?
No.
There was no recorded visible damage to the bodies.
Yeah.
They both had heart attacks.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh. It's a dedicated mystery here. Real thing.
So two of these can be kind of put together or like they kind of piggyback off one another.
Uh-huh. Sure they do.
So one of them is possibly aliens, Chris.
Okay. And that's piggybacking off the electricity?
Or something else here.
Espionage.
According to Manuel's wife and the two men's friend Gomez, Manuel and Miguel were part of a scientific spiritualist sect. Manuel's wife said he owned several books by Allan Kardec. Allan Kardec started the scientific spiritist movement in the 1800s. And I was trying looking this up. It's like using science and like philosophy to explain God, but then it gets like weirder. Like they do start doing weird things. Case in point.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested.
So Gomez told the police that pretty much anyone in the field of electronic technicians in Brazil were part of this spiritualist sect, including himself. So Gomez was part of it too. He also said that he, Manuel, and Miguel were trying to contact spirits on Mars using an electronic device they built. Again, this spiritualist or not spiritualist, spiritist sect. This is like a weird offshoot kind of thing.
They were talking to people on Mars?
They're trying to talk to spirits on Mars, contact them.
As in people who lived on Mars and died?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean...
I'm assuming, yeah. That's why they're up there.
That makes sense. That's why who up there? I thought you meant the people on Mars. I'm like, that's why they're there to contact them,
that's
right?
why the spirits are there. They would have died there, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, if there were people living on Mars, they'd be dead.
So when they try to use it, in Manuel's backyard, it blew up.
Perfect.
So they tried again, naturally, as scientists would.
Yeah.
They tried again on June 13th, 1966 at a beach.
Electronics and water. Perfect.
So apparently when they did it, they saw an orange-colored oval floating in the sky, emitting bright rays of light right before it suddenly exploded.
The sun, okay.
It was nighttime.
Oh.
The moon.
Or
is this a UFO?
Shooting
Chris?
star. Wait, it exploded?
Exploded, yeah.
Well, it wouldn't have been like a...
But these guys saw this happen, these three. But here's the thing. Multiple witnesses reported seeing this UFO hovering over the ocean, and the explosion was felt miles away. Apparently, even the Navy got involved to try and figure out what it was.
It's probably just a space rock. Like, it was probably a meteor.
Maybe, yeah. But you think they would know that, right?
Back, I mean, in the 60s? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, what were they... Especially something that maybe they formed the Navy in this part of Brazil, wherever they saw it. It probably was not as populated, so they saw this happen. In the 60s, I don't think people knew as much about meteors as we would think they would. Like, it's common people.
It would?
Meteorites coming into the, like, exploding like that?
Yeah.
I
assume so, yeah.
Well, I think also you have to realize this is like the height of Roswell, like the alien stuff going on. So people are seeing anything in the sky and they're thinking that it's
conscious.
Aliens. Yeah.
This explosion was felt miles away. French ufologist, thank you, Jacques Vallée, visited the site and claimed to find residual radiation. Claimed it was the site of a UFO contact.
I don't know, Jacques.
There's I don't know. Apparently that's, never really gave the proof.
Well, I mean, we talked about the Rendlesham Forest incident. You know, they said they found elevated radiation, and then experts was like, well, that's just background radiation.
Yeah,
like they're like it was only one thing higher, so it's like it might have been something, but it was not that big of a deal.
Right.
So maybe this guy did find radiation, but he wasn't doing background. I mean, especially the part of the country, or part of the world, like the background radiation is higher in a lot of different places in the world, depending location on the planet.
Right.
The background radiation we have is some people are hit with more background radiation. So part of the day, whatever, that type of thing. The way the wind's blowing.
So this isn't the first time something like this happened, as far as in Brazil. In 1962, on another hilltop in Brazil, the body of another man named Hermes was found. He was a television technician, and lead glasses were found near his body.
Why did he die? How did he die?
I don't know.
What's the technology?
He too was part of the scientific spiritualist sect.
What's it called?
What?
There's this sect. Do you know what it's called?
It's like the guy's Kardec's spiritist.
Okay.
Named after Allan Kardec, the guy who invented it in the 1800s. That kind of corroborated what Gomez was saying. Like, everyone in this field is part of this sect.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And probably a lot of I think it's more of that, like one of those things where causation, just because something happens doesn't mean it was because of this thing. But all these guys that were doing this lead masks were part of this group doesn't mean every single guy in that field was part of that group. It was just the group was made up of these types of people.
Yeah.
And that they were
maybe they're kind of outliers.
Well, and that they would be the ones who would be found like this.
Well, yeah.
But all the technicians in that field, in that area, wouldn't have been involved.
Because they'd all be dead.
There'd be a lot more lead masks going around, or lead glasses.
Another thing is it might have been like a suicide or drug overdose. It's piggybacking off like the alien cult thing.
Yeah.
Do one of those things like, hey, kill yourself so you can go see your god alien thing up in space or whatever.
Like Heaven's Gate.
Yeah, exactly.
Around here. Yeah. Not around here, but I mean in America.
Yeah. Gomez said psychedelics were part of the ritual in these events. Certain drugs would allow them to pick up on radio and television signals through telepathy.
Nice.
So, but maybe they might have also died from accidental drug overdose.
Well, we won't know because
they take these psychedelics, like might take too many, but again, we don't know. All right, and the last thing is murder. Maybe they're murdered. Manuel's wife claimed that Gomez and Manuel fought shortly prior to his death. And his statements kept conflicting with the police officers. He gave statements twice, and they kind of like things weren't matching up. But eventually, was like they're like, yeah, he's good. He didn't do it.
He probably had a good alibi or something.
Yeah,
but like, how
he was also like, I mean, here's the thing: he was one of the last people to see them alive.
Well,
one of the last few people
that knew him.
Right? Yeah. They had a fight, argument, but like again, he was also 170 miles away when they died.
Like he would have to go. That's a long way to go just to dump a body or kill.
However, in 1969, a prisoner named Hamilton Bizzani told police he was involved in Manuel's and Miguel's deaths. He said he was approached by 3 other people to help rob and murder them. He claimed to have met the 2 at a spiritualist center and conducted a seance with them. These seances are part of this whole spiritist thing.
What would they have to gain? What did they have?
I mean, they did have all that money. They apparently had like a lot of money to go like buy all this equipment and buy a car.
Oh, okay.
That
makes sense.
A couple of websites, they threw out like whatever what the currency was, and I was like, I don't understand this. I guess I could have done like a inflation thing,
a breakdown
calculator.
Yeah,
but apparently there's a lot of money.
So they had a bunch of money on them,
right?
And some people knew that they were coming to town to buy this stuff because they're part of this society. And they're like, we'll be down the next week.
Remember, there was cash in their pockets and some around them. And apparently that wasn't all the money that they brought with them, according to their wives.
So the math doesn't add up on how much. Yeah. Okay.
So like they were definitely missing a significant amount of money. But this guy says, I don't know how he knew this, how the people that approached him knew that they had all this money on them. But he said he was approached by these people, other criminals, to rob and murder them. He meets them at a spiritualist center, and they do a seance. All 3 of them do a seance together. Then Bizzani claims he drove Manuel, Miguel, the 3 other criminals in a Jeep. Because remember, someone saw a Jeep.
The boy.
Yep.
Or someone did.
Someone did, yeah. He drove all these people to the foot of the hill that they all died on. The 2 died on, sorry. Bizzani was ordered to stay at the Jeep while everyone else climbed the hill. Bizzani claims that later on, the 3 men returned with a briefcase full of money without Manuel and Miguel.
But did they have the briefcase on them when they left?
That's the first time I ever heard anything about a briefcase. So I was like, that's kind of
like
weird.
They had a case of like
I would assume
duffel bag.
Yeah, if they had that much money.
Doesn't mean it has to definitely be an actual briefcase, but it was like a bunch of money.
The 3 men claimed they robbed the men at gunpoint, stole the money, and made them ingest poison capsules. Police weren't able to confirm any of this, though.
Right. Because they didn't do a toxicology report.
Yeah. But again, that would make sense, though. Maybe that's why they had their hands behind their head, because they're held at gunpoint.
Okay. But they were laying on their backs.
Yeah.
Though.
And they were told to take poison pills. So it's like.
With the lead masks, or like the lead glasses on them?
Yeah, why the lead glasses, though?
Maybe that's part of the
ritual.
Like the society's thing. You said there's another person from that society that had lead glasses
1962, yeah. 4 years earlier. About.
So these guys, I wonder what they did to get them up in that hill, though.
Right.
So is that all your theories?
So that Bizzani guy, I guess, I don't know, like, what would have happened. Like, he said he met the 2 at one of those spiritist centers and did like a seance with them. But like, what else would he have done? Be like, hey, get in this Jeep with me and these 3 other guys you don't know. Come to the hill with this like hilly area with us.
I think if you would have if he came up with something like, hey, if you wear these glasses and we do like part of that group may have been wearing the lead glasses. Mm. Does anybody really do the research on if that group believed in something with lead stuff on their eyes?
Not
something?
Not that I saw.
Because it's the note in their pocket.
Right.
So this is we're done with theories.
Yeah.
Right?
So the only thing I'm saying with this is like the fact that there's that note in the pocket saying at the time be here, at the time put on the glasses, and then take the pills, protect the metal or whatever it was. Like, why would they have written like? Why would that note be in their pocket? These guys just killed them,
Right?
Unless they put the note in their pocket.
Or this was something they planned to do when they like. This is something they were planning on doing, some kind of ritual.
Yeah.
And these guys just like
Found out about it.
Well, no, I think they were part of the same group. He's like, oh, these guys are coming with all this cash.
Yeah.
We're going to do this ritual, so I'm just going to take all the money when they do it. Or like,
Right.
we'll just murder them when they do it and take the money. So, but this guy that was in jail, what was he in jail for?
I don't know.
Probably something different.
Yep.
So he was a criminal in general.
Yes. And he says that the other guys that were doing it with him were criminals as well. Yeah. Never gave any names or anything like that.
This is a sticky one here, Jordan. I don't know about this.
Yeah,
there seems a lot of stuff going on here.
I was like, finally, we can do like something with aliens. Like, yeah, it's a possible theory, but like these guys apparently genuinely believe this. So I think that's neat. That's part of it. I think they're part of like this weird sect, scientists that kind of believe in this, like alien spirits and things on Mars, and like we're gonna go. Let's go trip in the hills together.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably so many groups like that we don't even know about. Like general society doesn't know about. And,
sure.
But like, also do whatever the hell you want. Just don't hurt anybody else. Don't ruin any else. Like, just don't be
overdose.
a jerk about it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you overdose, that's on you. Don't be an idiot. I'm sure they didn't want to overdose, but I wonder if it's. I think if it was something where it was like we were up Heaven's Gate and like a kind of a ritual.
Yeah.
A lot more of that people in that group would have done it.
Yeah.
Right. Because it doesn't seem like these guys. If these guys were going there to die, that they knew they were doing this as like a ritual.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have brought all that cash with them.
Right.
They wouldn't, because they wouldn't have been preparing to go get these other parts.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Why
they
have
wouldn't
that
have made
cash?
They would have made a situation. They wouldn't have made it a trip. This part of their trip of going like pick up this electrical components, unless it was something they just used as a story.
Yeah.
And they had the cash for some other reason. But it seems like the cash was the most likely situation would be cash. They were going as part of this group to do this ritual type of thing or something to see if they could see something based on stuff that they know from their group. Yeah. And someone else took it as a opportunity to just murder them, steal their money. Kind of a very series of events of like, unfortunately, this is how they played out. Yeah. These guys
went wrong.
Was doing
our tripping session went wrong. You got murdered.
But I wonder what they didn't.
I still don't know why they had all that money if they're planning on just going out there and
exactly. So it had to be not that. Yeah. It had to be they were making a stop to do this thing with this group.
And they chose to be on that hill. That part of it would make sense to go on the hill to do, like getting murdered aside. Like it makes sense to go on the hill to do something like that. They're like trying to see something.
Yeah.
They're apparently taking these psychedelics to like telepathically see
right through the lead.
Yeah.
Kind of that type of thing. Maybe that the note would reference, like would kind of point to like they thought that they were doing this whole ritual thing, and this one guy who knew them prior, maybe they said, hey, we got to take this trip to get these parts, for our business or whatever. And he said, oh yeah, we should do this trip to this, we should do this thing together, this ritual together. Once you swing by, we'll do it on the hills, whatever the situation is. Yeah. And then it's in his back of his head, he's like, oh, I'm just going to murder these guys. He made it up to like get them there to just ruin them. Yeah. Or take all their stuff. But what do you think? Because I am going with it's like a complicated multi-part thing. A couple of the theories you had make sense.
They all kind of like tie together. I don't know. The money thing is weird. Like, why have all that money
with them on the hill? Yeah, I would think why would they leave it in the van or they didn't know those other guys probably. So why would they leave it in the Jeep? The Jeep, not the van.
I mean, if those guys were even like there to begin with, though, like this guy,
right?
Guy might be full of crap,
right? Why? If you had that much cash on you, wouldn't they might have had it in a bag they were carrying with them, a book bag.
Sure, yeah.
You know, so he had it in a book bag, and it just so happened to be part of this.
But definitely did seem like someone was messing with, like, try to steal money from them, at least because there was money in their pockets and money outside their pockets, like on the ground.
So maybe they had the money in their pockets and they ripped it out and took off.
Or just those guys are dead, and someone's just like that kid. The kids climb up there, like who else could be walking around up there? He's like, oh, let's steal this money. Like who had nothing to do with their deaths. That could have just been like
they had regular money in their pockets.
They're just like, oh, we'll just take it.
Yeah.
You know, there's two dead guys. They're not going to need the money. Let's just take and go.
Oh, so someone never reported it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. They might have like guards, around there, just like, oh, dead guy. We'll take that cash and like I didn't see anything. I don't know.
They check their pockets first and then take off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like, this could have been a stop that they wanted to do. They still could have been going to Sao Paulo too.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They just stop there to do their
this is part of
little
their
ritual, and they're like, oh, then we'll go to Sao Paulo, get more electrical equipment, get a car, and drive back.
Yeah, and maybe they had planned on getting electrical equipment in Rio as well, then go to Sao Paulo, and then get the car and then go home.
Right.
There are a couple of different things. And this guy, probably the guy that they met at that other meeting or whatever, who met that with them, he probably was like, oh, I know they're buying a car. They have to have cash on them.
Right.
It seems like it was too perfect of a setup for a criminal.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, it also said on the notes, like, there's descriptions of various electrical equipment, too, that those in, like, notebooks. Maybe that's the stuff they're attempting to buy places.
Stuff they needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's whole weird cult sect thing, I think is kind of cool.
Cults are cool. Yeah, I hear you. You hear that, everybody?
Heard it here first.
Yeah.
Drain the ocean and cults are cool.
Cults are cool. Drain the ocean.
Drink all the Kool-Aid.
Jules Verne, full of garbage. 2024. Anyway, I think it's interesting that this story cannot be solved because there's as time goes on, all the people die.
Yeah.
The people that anyone that has the actual answer, there's no possible way to know.
Right.
Mysteries like that, like how many of those type of mysteries are out there that are like this? Like, one guy ends up dead in a different city. Like, what's like one guy was by the ocean in Australia.
Oh yeah, the
Somerton Man,
yeah. And then the Isdal lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we got the show for.
Here we are. We just hope it doesn't happen to us.
Well, when our cult, goes mainstream, we'll make sure that's not part of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Is not murder or death. More of just fun.
It's fun.
Just palling
having
around.
Fun.
The cult of pals. Just get a good friend. That's all you need. A good cult right there.
Best cult.
We'll worship at the altar of friendship. The intersection of friendship and love. This is the start of something.
Yeah, yeah.
People are going to look back at this as like our Bible.
They have statues of us made of bronze.
Yeah. It's gonna be like we got to come up with cool something. Anyway.
Great.
Well, I don't know.
That's not going to happen.
We don't know what the future holds.
Maybe we should try this weird spiritist thing, man. Talk to some spirits out on Mars, and they'll tell us what to do.
Seems like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Just rather not. Didn't work out for these guys.
I just rather
unfortunately,
not,
we are talking about two guys who fortunately passed away. Any kind of cult that kind of like preys on people in a way that murder or like death is is an answer is probably not a good way to go.
No.
And probably is not a cult for you or me.
No.
Anyway, let's wrap this baby up, put her back to bed because it's making me sad. Wish we're still talking about sea monsters instead of death.
Yeah.
Jordan, people want to, hear from us. Where should they go? They want to find us out there.
So we got our own website, mysteriousPals.com.
Good place to stop.
Yep. Email us at mysteriousPalsonline@gmail.com.
Please do.
Find us on YouTube at Mysterious Pals, Facebook at Mysterious Pals, Twitter or X
Can't wait till they change that back.
At mysterious pals at mysterious underscores pals.
Yeah. Important.
And they were on all
TikTok too, somewhere.
somewhere on there. Yeah,
We have a few things on there. Not a big deal.
Is that
Anyway,
still a thing? It's still around, right? Are they trying to get rid of that?
I don't know. Who cares? I saw their garbage will pop up in its place. Anyway, everybody, thank you. Please send this video to your friends, to your enemies, to your family members. Help us out. Get our numbers up. We would love for that small, donation to us of just spreading the word, the good word.
The cult of pals.
Yeah. Thank you again, Jordan. Thank you again, everybody out there who watched or listened. We will see you, or you will see us next week. Same mysterious time, same mysterious place, same mysterious pals. Good night.
Good night, Chris.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.